I plead innocent of all charges.
Talking Elvis, a new podcast.
I'm back. Yes, welcome back to episode 24 of Talking Elvis, the podcast. I'm still on my own this week. Ian is obviously still on his top secret government, NASA, Mars, probably said too much already, mission. And he'll be back when he gets clearance, so that's good. As for me, I was planning on carrying on. And sadly, we've had a big family tragedy over the last month. So planning funerals and everything, not been a great time. But, you know, what is it they say? Yeah, whatever doesn't kill you makes you drink more. So we've come out the other side and I'm ready to go again.
This is Henrik Knudsen from the Memphis Mansion in Randers, Denmark, and you are listening to the Talking Elvis podcast.
Got some topics lined up that I'd like to get some more details on. And yes, we are still looking to put together this ETA show. So I've been asking for not just people to list their favourite ETAs. I want people for interviews who are going to tell me why they became an ETA. What is it they get out of it? What do the public get out of seeing it? Why is it so big? We all know that I don't get it. I don't get the world of it. But some people are going to tell me, like, you know, I'd have his baby, and others would say I'd smash his face in. So I've got the broad spectrum here, but I want more details. I want to put some more meat on the bones if we can. So please email me or whatever if you want to be involved in that. I've put it back a month or so now. It was going to be around for the anniversary, but I don't want to rush it. So now I'm a month out of sync. Let's get on with the show.
Email Vince at talkingelvis.co.uk.
So a bit of a short episode this week. Get me back into the swing of things. In the Elvis world, you know, people collect all sorts. There are, you know, the ones I've got 73 different versions of from Elvis Presley Boulevard. You know, someone's got to have a black label this and a Japanese that. I never really went that way. I was more of a I need every track, and yeah, I went down that route. I suppose money dictated what you can actually collect. Collected books, other things as well. But a weird little thing that developed was a little collection of films about Elvis. So it's quite a weird little link that I like here. So I love to collect them, and I would have everything from, was it Touched by Love to Elvis and the Beauty Queen, the Ginger films, was it Living Legend and Lady Grey. I'm not talking about those today. Yeah, although I do like those sort of things because there's a bit of a weird connection. But I'm looking at ETAs for all this show we're doing about life and times of an ETA. And I was suddenly reminded of a film that I'd bought a few years back, a story about an ETA. So then I started digging around and seeing what we could come up with that. So this week, pure and simple, just a very simple task for us this week, is looking at some of the ETAs in the movies. Yeah, so not the Nixon films, just the life and times of an ETA.
Talk about the good times with Talking Elvis.
So I found this first film a few years ago. It's a 2012 film, so it's not that old, or am I just really getting on a bit? It's an Argentinian film, so yes, it is subtitled, from director Armando Bo, and it was called El Ultimo Elvis, The Last Elvis, was the English title for this. I bought this on eBay. It was a strange little oddity. This DVD looked like it had come free with the newspaper in a little cardboard sleeve, but I thought I'll go for that. Bought it, and I really liked it. Now, it's a film about an Elvis impersonator, but it's not a film about an Elvis impersonator, if that makes any sense. The story could quite easily have been anything else. This is a guy with an obsession. Okay, rings a bell. I can think we can all have a little bit of that at some point. We're all guilty. This is a guy who's an Elvis impersonator, and obviously it's a film about an Elvis impersonator, but it's played by a part-time Elvis impersonator. So it's really interesting to me that I'd like to get to know the actor. So the actor was John McInnery, who plays the part of was it Carlos Gutierrez, who is this part-time ETA. So it's a sad story. It is the sad story of the ETA. This is the obsessive. This is the guy who eats, sleeps, breathes Elvis, but kind of believes he is Elvis. So it is that one step over. He's trying to live the American dream in Argentina as a lookalike, right? And to me, you see the lookalike part, you think, well, yeah, there's a lot of these guys, the fat and 40s, who get away with it. I don't know why people think they look like Elvis, but the fat and 40s get away with it. So he's not the most glamorous of Elvises. It was Elvi. I can't remember how you pronounce the plural. But his acting's pretty decent. So he was an actor. He was an architect as well. So he's a part-time everything. He does perform. He's obviously jumped on the bandwagon now, and he's performing in a Vegas type show as himself, as Elvis, rather than as the movie character. So it's a story of a guy with an everyday job. We've got separated from his wife, gets his daughter at weekends. Guess what his daughter's called? Yeah, Lisa Marie. And guess what he feeds her when she comes to the house? Yeah, peanut butter. Yeah. So there's a few of the Elvis cliches in there, or are they little nuggets? Are they little gems for us? Is it Easter eggs? I don't know. Whichever way you want to look at it. But a good story. And I think the story is the winner here. It's not a cheap and nasty film. It's an award winner. It's about Elvis by default. But this sad story of this guy's life, this obsession, this trying to sort of believe he is the king. I invented rock and roll. I was never really gone, he says at one point. His daughter's moaning about him in his silly songs. He's at the what do they call it, the agency where he gets a bit of work as a lookalike Elvis, and it's nice. You get Axl Rose and Slash in there as well, you know, lookalikes obviously. But his gift is his singing, and he's got a pretty good voice. And I must say that, you know, in the film, they've gone for the greatest hits. We've got CC Rider, Always on My Mind, Suspicious Minds, Burning Love, Hawaiian Wedding Song, Trilogy. But we do get a really good Unchained Melody. If you listen to the trailer, the trailer's basically that film. It's he knows his stuff. He's obviously done it. He's watched the Elvis in concert footage 1,000 times, so he knows what he's doing. I still don't get the world, but it's really nice to have this background of an impersonator being an impersonator, which is just weird. But great film, beautifully filmed. If you don't do foreign films, it's a shame. Probably not the best Argentinian film I've ever seen. Do like, what was that other one? Secrets in Their Eyes, the original one. That was really good. But worth watching, and I think if you can get it out there. I haven't seen it on any of the platforms, the Netflixes and the Primes and whatever, but I might have missed it. Depends what territory you're in, I suppose. But I would say go out and get it. Now, I'm not into spoilers here, so all the stuff I've told you is the basic bit. I really like the end. You know, make you laugh, make you cry, go for it all. I think it's one to watch. So it's called The Last Elvis. Take a look, see what you think.
A little more conversation with TalkingElvis.co.uk.
Hi, guys. This is Jamie Kay from the Jungle Room podcast, and you're listening to Vince Wright on the Talking Elvis podcast.
So after I watched The Last Elvis again, I thought, well, is there any other films I can put in this as to sort of clump them together as films about ETAs? Right. I'm not going to include today 3,000 Miles from Graceland. The excellent 3,000 Miles from Graceland, which is just a great film again. I want to do that as a separate one in the future. It's one you can just watch again and again. It's just a proper... Oh, I love that film. Anyway, we're going to do a feature on that one, and it isn't strictly in the same vein as these two. So the second one I found, which I hadn't seen before, which I only recently came across. I don't know if any of you do the put Elvis into the search engine in Amazon Prime and see what you get. And you get all these, the last 24 hours, Elvis lives. Let's put a load of public domain footage together. Let's have 3 minutes of footage and a lot of boring people talking programs. So they have all of those things. And then I spotted in amongst it a film, a 2017 film called Elvis Walks Home. Ever heard of it? No. Well, this one's in English, so that might be easier to watch for some people. It's a war film. Again, with the Elvis is not that important to the role. It's interesting that this is about an ETA, but it doesn't have to be again. So imagine this one. You've got a guy here called Mickey, a part-time ETA, lives in London, goes off to entertain the troops, right? It's 1999. This is the Balkan Wars. I'm not getting into the politics behind the story. If you know that or you read up on it, then that's great. He's going to entertain the troops, the British should we say that again? The British peacekeeping troops, all right? And the whole film is filmed in Albania. And he's an illegal Albanian who lives in London, who's ended up over there to do a tribute show. And just before he goes on, in his very bad jumpsuit. I mean, we're looking at this jumpsuit isn't even a jumpsuit. It's a two-piece to look like a jumpsuit, not a two-piece that looks like the Elvis two pieces. So it's shocking. It's interesting that he's in this suit all the way through the film. So the colour of it changes. It's a bit Bruce Willis Die Hard vest kind of moment. It's a two-piece, so obviously he can take his jacket off. He hasn't got to sort of pour himself out of a jumpsuit. So there are scenes he can be in his vest or whatever. So it's obviously a costume choice, but it's not the greatest jumpsuit. It's nowhere near the quality of jumpsuits that even the last Elvis wore in the other film. It's meant to be the cheap and cheerful. The character, again, not a looky-likey. He's just a guy who fancies himself. I do a bit myself, We don't hear him sing throughout the film, so that's good. He does chuck a couple of little bits in, he wants to leave, and he says, well, it is now or never. So there's things like that, but it's not a funny film. Right, so what's happening? He runs away when he realises he's in trouble, just before the show. He flees into a war zone. Now, he's captured by a group of refugees. Now, these refugees are kids. So it's a really weird story now, because is he going to be the Pied Piper? Are they going to cripple him? Are they going to make things worse? So the director, Fatimir Koçi, is it Koçi? I think it's pronounced like that. Also Albanian. Lots of funding from all around the world into this one. So it's a really good story. Drayton Castrati. Right, so he's the guy playing the part of the Elvis. So he's there, he's got the kids, he's working his way through the war zone with these kids, trying to protect them, trying to escape, work it out as you go along. The whole thing of how the United Nations were treated there, it's a really good backdrop on this historical story. But the Elvis connection, well, it works because bizarrely in the war zone where you've got half blown up buildings, you've got the guy in the typical ETA suit. He's there. It's a stunning image to see, the machine guns and camouflage shooting and a guy with a guitar walking through. It's surreal. But it's very good. So it goes through. Lovely little film. So no singing in it, but really loved it again. Found it on Prime as a freebie, so it's up there. I haven't seen DVDs or it or anything. But yeah, I like it, but it is a good film on its own with an ETA there. So it does give you a bit more meat on the bones of what a person's like. It is only, it is a film. But this is what I've been trying to find out for getting to the bottom of the ETA world. I thought these two films were very good quality films in their own right. A nice international market. Again, not something that's just going to crop up on a Saturday afternoon on the telly. we can all buy King Creole and we can see things coming on, talking pictures, and we can watch stuff for free. But get out there, just get and see the different things, get another perspective. I love it to bits. So these two films about ETAs, I'm not a big fan of ETAs, but I did find these two films very enjoyable.
Hi guys, what's on the show next week?
Well, if I get my act together this week, I've got a couple of interviews to do, so I'm hoping the one will form the basis of next week's show, but watch this space. I'd like to start banking a few interviews, so if you want to be talking Elvis with us, drop me a line, get in touch somehow, and tell us what your theory is. If you want to talk about your collection, if you've got the rarest whatever it is, let's do a bit on it. Loads to think of, loads to go with. Thanks for sticking with me, and I'm glad to be back. Stay safe, everyone, and I'll see you soon.
Find us at www.talkingelvis.co.uk or Facebook or YouTube or Spotify. In fact, any place you get your podcasts.